Nexxlegacy.
You're on live.
Hey, how's it going, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm good. I hope you got your technical difficulties figured out.
Actually, we're good to go now. Like, when I first started, I was like, okay, I can't see anything but a blue screen, but we're good to go. We are good to go. How's everything in your world?
Things are good. The 818. That's Los Angeles.
Yep.
This is
Right on.
Scott Bailey.
How's everything going, Mr. Bailey? I'm glad you're able to get in here and hang out with us tonight on Tuesday night 101. I definitely appreciate it. And with everything being straight now, I think we're official. I think everything is good. We have a lot of listeners here for a lot of different reasons, and a lot of people came and wanted to see what's up with you. But overall, what's new? What's new? Tell the listeners out here what's been good.
What's new? What's been good? Well, been making a living playing pretend. It's a blessed life. I can't complain. I'm surviving in bad times, in a recession, as everyone notices. I live in Los Angeles. The weather's great. Can't complain. How about you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm pretty much like you. I'm in the Bay Area out here in California, so weather-wise, there's no complaints whatsoever. So I don't have a complaint in the world. I'm just living life, loving it to the fullest, and trying to shake the recession like you are, man. So one of the things. Yeah, exactly. One of the things, Scott, people pretty much wanted me to ask you too, especially like with your time that you spent on Guiding Light. Now, I pretty much said it off the top that, with it coming to an end, I know there's petitions out there, and I know there's a lot of people trying to keep Guiding Light on. But first off, before we even talk about the end of it, tell me a little bit about the beginning of it. Like, how were you approached to do the show? And you played Sandy Foster on Guiding Light.
Yeah.
How did you get that role? Or how did you land that?
Well, I'd like to say that, I was brooding in a coffee shop somewhere, and they discovered me and said, "You're so amazing, you got to be on our show." But I think I, like many actors, went and auditioned, and they would call me over to CBS like every 3 to 6 months, every 3 months or so. They'd call me in there, and I'd play some guy and do something with the role, and they put me on camera, and then they would say, then one day they said, "Hey, you want to go to New York and be on Guiding Light?" And I just about flipped, and I said, "Sure, let me think about that. You bet." And I hopped on the next flight to New York, and I lived a really blessed, amazing 3 years in New York, working on a great show with some amazing folks. And I did the research on that show when I got offered the job, and that was, believe it or not, the first television show. There was a time it was on a radio. It was a radio drama, and this is before they even had television. They had it a radio drama, and then they made it, when television came out, they made it a TV drama as well. And interestingly enough, there was a time when the actors would do the radio drama, and then they would go do it in front of cameras. I thought that was kind of fascinating, but it has a long history, and I did a few hundred episodes myself, but I don't know any other show that's had over 17,000 episodes on TV.
17,000, my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, and I was honored to play a part of that and to work with people on there who had been just killing it, just doing solid work and entertaining people for years, decades even. And I learned a lot in those 3 years, and I experienced a lot, and I'm very grateful for that experience. And I still have fond memories of it, and lots of love for the cast and the producers and the crew and everyone there. It was a pretty amazing experience.
Now, the work of a daytime actress, just in general, I've always heard that it's so much of a grind. It's kind of like, day in, day out. with the scripts and everything that you pretty much have to, do on a regular basis, it's really, really tough, and it's just one of those. It's if there's a level above acting, that's probably daytime. Do you kind of see that as true, or was it kind of easy for you to kind of transition from daytime and just be able to get on that grind like everybody else would always say that it's just so much hard work?
Well, it does have its elements of. Hello, you there?
Yep, I'm still here.
It does have its elements of hard work, but every job you're going to get, you're going to have to go to work and work hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
this is a dream job. I wanted to act, so that here's a chance to act every day. How amazing is that? I mean, I guess you get spoiled on movies and primetime series because you go and you sit around in your trailer and you wait for them to light it, and then you wait for the camera to be right, and then you wait to rehearse, and then you actually only work a half hour a day. But on Guiding Light, on the soap operas, sometimes we would work 12, 16-hour days, or we would have 30 pages of dialogue to do.
Right.
Which I relished because I enjoy a challenge. Instead of spending all day trying to figure out how to do, how to master 30 seconds of airtime, we would spend all day doing an hour show.
Right.
So you better learn how to make decisions quick and memorize quick and work quick. And I like the challenge. Some people poo-poo it and say it was hard work. Yeah, it was sometimes hard work, but in the end of the day, we're playing pretend.
Yeah.
I've shoveled ditches and done roofing and waited tables and lots of other things that are a lot harder than showing up and putting on some makeup and playing pretend and getting married or having amnesia or having an affair or backstabbing or there's millions. I mean, I don't know how many times I had amnesia. I was in the hospital or getting married or
Right.
sleeping with some beautiful woman. It was a really tough job, and somebody's got to do it. So I stepped up to the plate. Although on a side note, there was a few times where I had to actually be in a coma.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, if you have a heavy story, you're working every day, and for like a week or two, I would have to sit. My job was to sit in a bed and do nothing. And I thought to myself, and be surrounded by beautiful, people crying and kissing me, and I thought, wow, this is, which, although I was told that was some of my best work ever. The coma.
Yeah, there you go. The coma scenes were outstanding, So yeah, that to me, I always felt like this, especially when you're doing stuff like not just acting, being on daytime or just in general. To me, especially if you love your art form and you consider it a craft, to me, I would take that than, like you said, flipping burgers or working somewhere where you really just have to really go get it. And not only that, you love what you do, so you have to go get it with your craft, but also you kind of, you're doing something you love, so you have to put your passion into it every single day. So
I hear
that's what
that's
what a lot of people.
The new challenge, and
Exactly.
if you do something you love, someone once told me, you do what you love, you never have to work a day of your life.
Exactly.
If you love hosting radio shows, or you love doing radio, man, it doesn't matter if the show is at 3 o'clock in the morning, or if you got to do 8 shows a day, or you know what I mean.
Exactly. Definitely. Now, how do you feel about this whole thing with Guiding Light coming to an end, man? I know, once you heard it, I know you were probably kind of shocked, especially with it being on for as many years and decades as it's been, coming to an end. It just kind of seemed like it doesn't really make any sense.
It is a sad thing. I think it's reflective of the current TV environment. There's a million channels on cable with a million different kinds of shows, and a few soaps have been canceled in the past few years because ratings are down.
Right.
But in a way, it's the first institution of daytime television, and it's sad to see it go. And I know that there are a couple million fans at least who that's their family. They invite the people, the families of Guiding Light, into their living rooms every day, and now they're going to miss that. So, and I'm kind of sad now. Sandy can never come back from the dead after having been thrown off the cliff. In the back of my mind, I always thought, it could be like in a dream, or he could come, his evil twin could come back to revenge his brothers. No, I don't know.
That's what I was going to say too, because knowing, and I did some research on you, and not only that, my grandma's a big fan of Guiding Light, so she's probably listening now, and at the same time, she's kind of like, wow, you're getting a chance to talk to Sandy Foster, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, he's supposed to be on, and one of the things she told me when your character was killed off, and she was like, well, not only is it a damn shame, it just kind of seemed like it's even though this was a little while ago, she kind of still remembers the whole scene on how it went down, and she kind of like, it was vivid in her mind, so it was one of those things. You got a fan in her, because she definitely was one where she remembers it to this day, and she's probably listening now, so Grandma Pearlie, big shout out to you. Pearl. Yep.
Well, Pearl, if you're listening right now, God bless you. Thank you so much for watching. It's fans like you that made that job just a joy. There were times when fans would come visit, or we would go. I would get noticed from a fan, and I loved every minute of it. I found that the fans on that show were really, really sincerely invested in your stories. And I got lots of hugs. I got lots of respect and lots of just good energy from the fans, and I love them to death. And I wish I would have stayed. Wish I would have been able to tell more stories on Guiding Light. And I'm sad that their show is gone. But those actors are very talented people, and those producers are talented people, and the writers and everyone. I'm sure they'll be doing other things.
Yeah. It just seems a shame, which is kind of leading me into one of the next things I want to kind of talk to you about as well. And we are in house tonight on Tuesday Night 101 with Scott Bailey. And continue to send the emails, people. I definitely appreciate it. Continue to send the love and support, and not just for this man's acting skills and stuff like that, but just overall, just people just really want to pick your brain when it comes to this industry now, which is leading into what I want to ask you now. I'm going to get into some of the stuff that you've done with MTV and, with Lifetime and a lot of different things on my network TV. But before I even get into that, give me your honest opinion about the reality shows today versus the craft that you work so hard for to get into as far as TV. What is your take on it? Because, as you well know, there's so many reality shows now. It just seems like a lot of networks want to go that route where not only is it a little bit cheaper, you don't have to shell out so many X amount of dollars like they do or they did when Jennifer Aniston was on Friends or this, that, and the other. But give me your thoughts on that.
Well, that's a bit of a loaded question. You can almost predict what I would answer. But indeed, there is a bit of a deluge of reality TV shows. Mm-hmm. And my take is, well, I don't really enjoy them myself, most of them. Mm-hmm. Except for, a rare select few that make good things happen, like maybe like Extreme Home Makeover or something. Right. Where I cry every time I see someone get a house or something that they, could never reach. But, it's a business model that I think is setting them up for failure because it's endemic of our thought process these days. We want results fast, right? Just like we want a result fast in the finance industry with these quick mortgages. Now they want results fast in TV industry, and it's really quick and easy to make a reality TV show. Right. You don't have to pay many people. It costs you very little money, and you put it out there. The problem is that, if it's a hit one year, it kind of gets old. The formula is, it wears thin. I mean, how many survivors or bachelors? I mean, they keep running them, but I mean, I might have watched the first season of Survivor to see what it's about, but I haven't watched past, I don't know, 18 of them. I don't know. The ratings go down, and that's a formula that I don't find all that interesting, or I don't really learn all that much from them. You know, not like a show like a West Wing, where, you know, it was brilliant writing and brilliant acting, and it was a drama you get to watch, and you're compelled, and you get to live with them vicariously and learn at the same time. But those things take time and effort. It's like you know, it's like a garden. You know, you have to take some time and effort, and, you know, plant your seeds and fertilize, and then you can reap what you sow. But they want things fast. So I see it. You know, right now they're having problems with the ratings and whatnot, and I see that's because, you know, you aren't cultivating an audience. You're putting these reality shows that have a really small shelf life, and you know, your audience base is not tuning in every week to watch those. You know?
Yeah, what was it that they say about beating a dead horse? You think that's pretty much how it is right about now?
Well,
kind of like they're...
You know, not to, you know, denigrate the people in charge, the suits, you know, some people might call them, but, you know, if something works, they will beat it to death. You know, if let's say American Idol works, then all of a sudden they're going to have a million reality shows about singing or talent or, you know what I mean? Or if, and I think it gets old really quick.
Right.
The formula gets old, and people aren't going to keep tuning in. And, you know, what TV is escape, and especially in a recession, people need an escape, right? Need some wish fulfillment. But in reality, it's a cheap, easy way to put something on TV, but it's not necessarily something that, you know, people want to escape to, or it's not necessarily anyone's wish fulfillment, or it's not necessarily putting any great energy or telling any great stories out there in the world. And I'm a firm believer that the story is the star. And the reason we have entertainment is that people have been telling stories for as long as they could tell stories.
Right.
You know, sitting around a campfire and telling a great story that was involving and you know, maybe visceral, and you learn something from it. Are you really learning something from you know, some of these reality shows?
Not a whole heck of a lot. Not really. Not really.
Is it just, you know, pablum or fodder for just rule to get through life? I don't know.
Yeah, to me, I
hope that we would strive for something exciting and better and, you know, educational and, you know, life affirming. So
yeah, and you know what, Scott? I always seem to believe, like, you know, you do have so much power over, you know, as far as the network, you have so much power over perception. Meaning, you know, when you, like, if you're running a network, CBS or you know, MTV or BET or whatever the case may be, you have so much power over not just what you're letting your audience view, but, you know, to at least be able to have a footnote and to have some kind of legacy left, be it if it's with your shows and stuff like that. And there's so many people that's gravitating to the reality shows, and to me, I've always saw it as a quick fix for something that they needed. You know, for it to come back full circle as far as having actors and actresses back on shows is important to me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously an actor is going to like it because we have a skill set that doesn't really, I mean, and then it doesn't really fit in reality TV because we have a skill set allowing us to, you know, access emotions and play characters and tell stories. But the reality show should not be about telling stories at all. And, you know, maybe it'll turn around. Maybe there will be a backlash eventually. I kind of hope.
I agree. I agree.
Tired of this crap.
Yep.
We want some good stories.
Yeah. You know? When you start seeing the declines of some of the shows that's out here now, then they're going to come back full circle, and then, you know, you're going to have established actors like yourself and other actors and actresses that will probably ask for the world, which rightfully so. But here's my thing. Now, there's so many potential actors, actresses, people that's in your line of business that is feeling pretty down right now about these situations right now. Networks are pretty much just latching on to the reality shows and stuff like that, and you have so many people out there that still believing in the craft that is acting. What can you give some advice and some words of wisdom from the years that you've had in this business to the people that's up and coming right now?
From the year that I have had,
Mm-hmm.
to the advice to people in this industry.
Absolutely, the people that's in the industry that's trying to become the next Scott Bailey, or become the next person that's really into this craft because they want to be into it.
Well, first off, this is something that I needed to do since I was 5 years old. This is something I chose to do because I felt it was compelling and honorable to go out and tell these amazing stories. And, I'll take responsibility also for, if there's so much reality shows out there, then I think it's on the onus, it's the onus of the creative people, actors, writers, directors, to go out and make some great stories. And you're seeing that, like, on web series or maybe independent films. You sometimes can find a good story. It's harder and harder to find them on TV. But
exactly.
If you're a creative type, you want to tell stories, do it. Mm-hmm. Whether it's in the theater, whether it's in the living room with some friends of yours reading a play, whether it's writing a story that you think is great and filming in this day and age, it's amazing what you can do with a simple, and I'm not advertising for Apple or anything, but if they want to send me a free product, that's great. But on my Apple computer, my laptop, I can write a film. I can then take a simple camera, I can film it. I can edit it. I can put it and build a website to put it on, and add graphics and add sound and everything, and make music all on my own little computer at home, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So if Spielberg had that, he'd been making films out of his bedroom. So we have the ability to do that these days, and I made my own website to try, put my stuff on there, scottbaileyonline.com. Mm-hmm. And I have friends who make their own videos. But, if you want to get into this, that's how you do it. Be creative. Create something every day. Make the day a better place. Add better energy by creating something, whether it's, whatever your talent lies or however you need to express it, whether it's through a painting or an acting class or, and to make a living at this business, sometimes there's not always a job. I was on Guiding Lights for 3 years, but I haven't always been, steadily employed.
Right.
And when I'm not, there are, in this business, there are many other things you can do. You can write, you can act in commercials, voiceovers, you can write, direct, learn other skills. Ironically, I get noticed even more for a commercial I did than I used to get noticed a lot for Guiding Light, but I get a lot of respect now for a commercial I did, and that was just I did this series of Old Spice commercials.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Now I play a half man, half horse, and it's maybe semi-embarrassing or semi-cool, depending on who you are. But that was hard work for a couple of days, but that's paying the bills as I get to also gives me the freedom to do other things. Write and create, direct, and whether it's in the theater or wherever else, I would tell them just keep being creative, keep doing what you do.
Yeah, I kind of send it as that was semi-cool, just for the simple fact that that was kind of cool to see a half man, half horse do an Old Spice commercial. That was kind of cool. So.
Well,
that's my opinion. That's my opinion. But yeah, how was it like doing the TV show Saints and Sinners for the My Network TV? Because I know you played Roman Martin, right?
Yeah, I played Roman Martin on. I got to right after Guiding Light, I did that series, and I enjoyed it. It was a different challenge, a different character. We shot in San Diego, and it was great. Although it was challenging, it was condensed. We shot even faster than they do in Guiding Light. So there were times where, in a day, we would shoot on one location. So let's say a church. So as an actor, I might work 16 hours that day, and I got to find a way to make it believable that in the morning I got married, and then in the afternoon I went to a funeral, and then the next time I got married again, and then I got in a fight, and then there was a shootout, all in one day. It was there was some times where I would just go to my trailer and throw on a new shirt and go right back out and do some new stuff.
Yeah.
It was a full challenge, and but I like a challenge. Life is short. If I wanted an easy route, I'd find a job where I could sit at a cubicle for my allotted 40 hours a week and bide my time.
When you with your laundry list of accomplishments and doing the MTV series, I know you played Stan during that season, and Prayer for Bobby as well, and a lot of the commercials.
By the way,
and of course,
that's a heck of a movie. And I don't mean to interrupt you, but they're playing it again on Lifetime this Sunday night. So if you haven't checked it out or if someone hasn't seen it, I know it came out in January, and how they do it nowadays is they air it a couple times and then they put it on the internet so you can download it or whatever. But Lifetime will be airing Prayers for Bobby starting Sunday again, and that was a heck of a story, and I can't recommend it more. I mean, those are the kind of stories that you want to tell, stories that can change people's lives.
Definitely, and if you guys and girls haven't checked it out, it's definitely a good one. I'll go ahead and press release it and put it on the blogs and stuff like that on the websites.
Thank you.
If you haven't seen this man act, you definitely need to go check him out. And there's a lot of people that do remember you from Guiding Light, and of course the commercials, like you said earlier. But what was the most fun that you had, excluding Guiding Light? Because I know that was a springboard to everything that you've done, after that. But what was the most fun that you've had?
The most fun? Wow. That's a tough one. I guess I would start with saying that every day I get to get up and play pretend for a living is a blast. Because sometimes I can't believe, whether it was on Guiding Light and I was in a coma, or in an emotional scene with Kim Zimmer, who plays Reva, or whether it was, having to get married to one of some beautiful woman on the show, or whether it was playing a half horse, or whether it's, playing a Revolutionary War captain shooting a musket. It's all an adventure, and I love every minute of it. It's really pretty exciting, and I can't say if there's a particular moment I love the most. I mean, sometimes I just, I have to pinch myself because I actually make a living doing this crazy thing, playing pretend. And there's one moment when I worked with a couple, last year when I did this Prayers for Bobby movie. I showed up on the set, and on my first day, I'm working with Sigourney Weaver.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sigourney Weaver's nice.
Sigourney Weaver, that's pretty class act, pretty good actor, if you don't mind me saying so. It's pretty obvious. And my first day, my first scene is with Sigourney Weaver, and I'm thinking, wow, this is and she was as classy and as professional and as amazing as you would think times 3. And we had a great scene. We had a great couple of takes on it, and we worked well. And then at the end of the day, she came over and told me that I had done that it was really honest and believable and truthful, and I had done a great job. And I went home. That was probably a really good moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, that's the equivalent to me getting an Oscar or something. You know what I mean? Getting that kind of story, working with that caliber of actress and human being, and holding my own. So
Now, it's one thing. It's one thing, Scott, that I wanted to let you know, and the fans and the people that's out here listening right now on Vintage Music Radio is definitely appreciative. Is not just the body of work that you have, but the drive that you still have to continue doing the craft that you so love. So, one of the things that I really wanted to make, as far as a statement-wise, is just to let you know that from afar, like, you know, I was never really a soap opera man, you know what I'm saying, never really did look too much at it, but just doing research on a lot of different things in entertainment and stuff like that, and not just because Scott Bailey was going to be on my show. You know, I started doing a little bit of homework on a lot of different things, and one of the reasons why, you know, in addition to having one of your guys contact you in regards to it, was because I've always wanted to have not just one of the people in daytime, and to me, I felt like was one of the most hardest working actors and actresses, period, but a lot of experience that you can be able to, like, share with some of these people that is up and coming, people that still have a dream of going to acting classes and coming out and doing exactly what you've done. So my hat's off to you, man, as far as for everything that you have done and everything that you're getting ready to do. Because I think it's pretty huge for someone with your caliber to come and not just hang out with me tonight, but just kind of like just letting your voice be heard about just, you know, and just being honest.
Well, thank you. And, you know, and that reminded me that, you know, you said that if I had any advice for all other people who might want to, are actors or whoever who might want to make in this industry, I would say don't listen to anyone who tells you you can't. I would say I'm a guy who went to I never knew what it was like to go to plays. You know, growing up, I worked hard. I did you know hard-working kind of jobs. I got a degree in engineering. I had a job as an engineer. I was studying to get my PhD when I realized I was too shy to give good research presentations. And that's why I took an acting class. So I didn't come from, I didn't grow up, people didn't say, oh, this guy should be an actor, this guy is super talented, or anything else like that. So anybody could do it. I'm just a guy who decided, well, you know what, I'm going to give this a shot. And yes, I might have been lucky, but a lot of people who work and get things done is because of luck and hard work. And I would say, you know, people told me when I first started out, people said, "Oh, you know, you're not outgoing enough. You're not tall enough. You're not. You have no family in the business. You know, who are you to? What makes you think you can do this? Or you know, lots of negative things. You don't even live in California yet, or you don't even." You've never even been in a play yet, or, you know, everyone can say negative things, but if, you know, you have a dream, gets you up in the morning, and you have a passion for something, do it. Don't listen to people tell you no.
All right.
Find reasons to say yes. You know? Because, hey,
exactly.
I'm just a guy from Illinois, and I'm making a living doing it, so why not you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you have something to say? Do you have some talent? Do you have some passion? Put it out there. Make it happen.
Exactly.
You know? Live to prove all those people wrong.
Exactly.
I don't mean to pontificate. I just feel strongly about that.
Now, what's in store? What's in store for Scott Bailey so far right now? Like this day today, which is April 14th, April 15th if you're on the East Coast, but right now today, what does the future have for you in store? You got anything in the works you want to let the listeners know what's going on with you?
Oh, sure. April 15th, 2009. In store for Scott Bailey.
There you go.
Well, Sunday we already shamelessly plugged the movie that's going to be on Lifetime on Sunday, Prayer Shababi.
Absolutely.
That's out, and I firmly believe that movie, although I play a small part in it, I believe it's a great story, and I believe that movie will be nominated for some Emmys next year. And I'm currently in a show called Common Rider, Dragon Knight, and that airs Saturdays at 11:30 on the CW.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun story. I play a bit of a bad guy, and I bad guy superhero, and I beat a lot of guys up.
All right, excellent.
Bad guy. So I ride motorcycles and I beat a bunch of guys up.
Right on.
Fun show on Saturday mornings at 11:30, and my the little kiddos think it's pretty cool. I did a movie last fall called Backlight with a Portuguese director who's like the Steven Spielberg of Portugal, and named Fernando Vergara, and that should be coming out this fall. And right now, I'm currently working on a movie, sort of a horror thriller kind of movie, and called Split Second. So I don't know when that's going to come out or not, but I'm lucky enough to get up and play pretend every day.
All right.
And I feel very blessed and lucky to get to do that.
Definitely. I mean, especially with this day and age, I know you're still trying to get as many hands in the cookie jar as you can as far as work and things like that. So for you to already have some things that you have lined up, and like I said, people, Lifetime, you need to go check out Prayer for Bobby. It's definitely a good movie, so you need to go check that out. And everything that you have, oh, by the way, it's on Lifetime, if I didn't mention that.
I think you plugged that pretty good.
I think I did.
Great.
And with everything that you have going on, I definitely, man, I can't respect you enough, man, not by just the work that you actually are doing right now, the stuff that you have in the oven, so to speak, but also your body of work, man. I mean, I always believe in like, if at the end of the day you can be able to say, hey, you know what, I have this on my resume and I'm proud of it, then I think a lot of your fans and a lot of your other people can definitely say the same. So I'm definitely one of those fans from afar, but not far enough to really appreciate what you've done for the entertainment business, and hopefully we can be able to see that 360 where it'll come right back now. It's not so dominated by the what do we say that? The reality shows. I almost lost the train of thought. Definitely.
Well, thank you very much, man. What do you got coming up?
Oh, man, I mean, overall, I'm just, as far as doing the radio show that I do online and reaching out to so many different viewers of different genres, not just of music, but in the entertainment field and things like that. We try to cater to as many people as we cater to, but a lot of people wanted me to reach out to people like yourself and a lot of other experienced actors and actresses and people just to have an even balance of what's going on out here in this media world. So, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you, and not only that, I'm not sure if we're going to have Ron Reigns on tonight, if he is on already, but you guys actually did so much work with Guiding Light, so it was one of those things where the experienced actors, we need them, because there's so many people that's in school right now trying to be exactly what you have already accomplished, and we need to educate people, and we need to let them know that, hey, you know what, you can be able to do some of the stuff that you guys have done. So I think it's important. So that's what we try to be able to bring out here when we have radio shows. We do it not just predominantly music, but it's a lot of talk. It's a lot of just sharing experiences and things like that. And we always try to make sure we have a foot in the front door and just make sure we take care of all the other people that we have in this media business. So that's what we try to do. Good
for you. I'm glad to hear somebody is trying to do that, and because I got to admit, I'm very disappointed in you're talking about reality shows, but in the past month or two, they cut all of our talk shows in Los Angeles on the radio.
Wow.
They cut them all, I guess, because it's cheaper to just play the same old music that every other channel plays.
Mhm.
And it's very
and you know why, right? You know why? It's because they can just go ahead and put a tape in for 5 hours and they're good, and the next person can come in and do that same thing. So, yep,
but
absolutely right.
Or your show on a daily or weekly basis will be far more enlightening, or interesting, or educational than listen to the same old music over and over and over.
Absolutely.
And I, for one, am disappointed that we don't have talk radio anymore, and I hope that you keep nailing it and you get a good show out here so I can listen to you.
Absolutely. That is a dream that will be that will come true. You better believe it, because I'm not done with this. You know, starting online, doing what I have to do, and having good people like you that's patient to hang on the line while I take care of the tech issues and things like that. That worked out brilliant. I've experienced worse, but this was simple compared to some of the stuff I had to go through. But I'm never going to quit my dream, and I'm glad to see you still out there living your dream as far as doing your acting and your music and stuff like that. So I can't thank you enough as we get ready to close. And once again, go ahead and give the listeners your email address, not email address, your website address, so they can be able to not just check you out, but look at all the other stuff you have going on.
Okay, yeah, there's my website. It's scottbaileyonline.com, and that's SCOTTBAILEY online.com. And there should be an email on there if you want to send an email or you have a question about this business, or you want some advice or whatever. I'll entertain the emails that gets to me, and maybe I can send some positive vibes or good energy or whatever it is. Whether it's a quote, "Leap and the net will appear," or whether it's you know what I mean, I'm here to fire you up. Hey, the harder I work, the luckier I get. Whatever it is, check it out. And thank you very much for listening and watching shows like The Guiding Light, which gave guys like me a wonderful job and opportunity to work their art. And I thank you for having me on your show, man. I wish you the best, and I hope you remember me when you're a big radio star here, and I wish you the best.
Hey, you know what, Scott? You know what? I would love to have you come back again next week or whenever you have free time, with your schedule and stuff like that. Come back and at this time we can probably have some interaction with some up-and-coming actors and actresses and stuff like that as far as people that want to pick your brain and stuff. So, just because you've hung out and did this thing one time, you definitely can come back and do it again with more interaction with not just yours truly.
When those Spielberg and Eastwood films come through, I'd be glad to share the story.
There you go. Very good. Very good. Well, Scott, good luck to you. Best of luck, and I will make sure I keep in touch with you, and I will send you information. But I would love to have you back on again, and we'll keep in touch, man. But much success. Much success.
All right. Likewise.
All right. Take care. That is...
Take care.
Mr. Scott Bailey, actor extraordinaire, has a lot of history under his belt. Just make sure you go ahead and check him out and support him. I'll go ahead and put all his information.
Nexxlegacy.